Greetings to all my fellow YouTube watch enthusiasts, Facebook watch enthusiasts all over the world. It's me, Celine Driver again. I'm here with another watch review. Don't have a box for this particular watch, but so we can't really call it an unboxing, but it is a review. Just got this watch in. It is a very special watch. It's somewhat of a custom watch. This is a watch that was not made originally by the manufacturer. It was a watch that I came up with on my own and found someone that would do it for me. And without further ado, ta-da! There it is. This is a Bulova Accutron. A real Accutron, not an Accutron 2 or Accutron Quartz or whatever, AccuQuartz or whatever the hell they call it. This is an actual tuning fork electronic watch from the 60s. This is one of their railroad watches. The Accutron was so accurate with its tuning fork mechanism and its electronics that it was certified accurate enough for railroad use. You can think of it almost as COSC certification, but for the railroads. The thing that makes this particular railroad Accutron unique is that Bulova never made this model combination. The thing that makes this model particularly special is right there, 14 karat gold. According to my source, they never made a 14 karat gold railroad Accutron. But this was made for me. Now, the gentleman who made this watch for me was Robert Piker. He lives in Illinois. All he does, well, in terms of watches, all he does is service, sell, and restore Accutrons. That's all he does. He doesn't do anything else. I'm going to leave his website and his email in the description below. It is bob@mybob.net is his email. The website is mybob.net. And on that website, you can find out all kinds of things about who he is, what he does, and you can find watches for sale. Some very rare ones, some very nice ones, and they're all and Accutron clocks too, by the way. All of them have been serviced by him. All of them work. This is the third watch I've bought from him. I bought a whole bunch of them off of eBay and had nothing but trouble. Sold them all pretty much except for two. And now whenever I have the urge to buy another Accutron, I'm just going to bypass all the eBay silliness and buy directly from him. Now, as I said, and as he told me, Bulova never made a railroad Accutron in 14 karat gold. So I came up, actually emailed him with the idea, because I looked on his website, as I often do, and I was looking for a railroad Accutron, and he didn't have any at the time, and I said, gee, I'd really love for you to keep an eye out for one, preferably in 14 karat gold case. And he said to me, they replied back to me that Bulova didn't do that. But I do have an alpha case lying around in 14 karat gold. I have all the parts and pieces, the 214 movement, the face, the hands, the correct hands, and so on, and the correct Accutron leather band in the crocodile pattern. And he said, I'll make one for you. And we negotiated a price that I could live with, and he built one when I gave him the word to do so, and it took him about a week. And it arrived this morning. Isn't that just lovely? I mean, isn't that just? I mean, it's beautifully shiny. The case is in excellent shape. Bulova Accutron folks may notice there's no date stamp down here or up here or somewhere. There's no M code, there's no N code. Any Accutron that you see with an M and then a single digit, the M is for the 1960s and the digit represents the year. So an M5 would be a 1965, an N is 1970, so an N2 would be 1972. There's no code on this one. So Bob speculates that this is a very early 1960, possibly early 61 case without a serial number, without an N code. Now, I know it has to be a very early one because when you pop, now this is your crown here, as you may know. This is your crown. When you pull this up, you notice that the thing lifts away. And when you put it back down, you have to snap it back down for the watch to turn back on. Now that's significant because only the earliest Accutron movements and cases supported that. I think it was after 1962 or 3. Bulova did away with that. So this is a very early case and a very early movement to match the case. So I'm thinking, and he's thinking, that we can call this easily a 1960/61 and be fairly accurate. Your battery, of course, is under here. Screw down case back for water, and it says right there, it does say waterproof, further cementing the fact that it's an old watch, because they don't call them waterproof anymore, they call them water resistant. It has a nicely domed, I believe this is an acrylic crystal, so have to be careful, but then again, this is going to be a dress type watch anyway. And look at just look at the smooth sweep of that second hand. It's just very common on the Accutrons, is a very smooth movement. They even hum. I've tried to pick that hum up on the microphone and it doesn't do it, but they do hum with the electronics. The band is in beautiful shape. It is an Accutron band. You can see it is signed Accutron. It is genuine leather. It's an 18-inch strap, which means that the lug width is 18 millimeter. Now let's get you some other measurements here. I'll whip out my handy dandy calipers, which I really should replace these with plastic calipers so I don't scratch something. But it's a very small watch. Not sure if it's picking up there. It's about a 30, it can't be right, 32 millimeter. Yeah, 32 millimeters. Not a very thick watch either. Trying to be careful. Just a shade under 12 millimeters. So, very small watch by today's standards. By the contemporary 1960 standards, it was about the right size for the job. It would still make a very nice dress watch by today's standard. Trying to do this through the screen of my iPhone, which is hard enough. But as you can see on my wrist, it's small, but doesn't look silly. But what a find! I mean, just talking to Bob and him having the parts available, was able to get all the parts to make it a correct Accutron railroad watch, even down to the signed Accutron buckle, as you can see. And just a beautiful, beautiful piece. I mean, it shined up really nice. Just took a cloth to it when I pulled it out of the packing box, and shined up beautifully. It's keeping very nice time. I mean, the watch is older than I am. Not by much, but the watch is older than I am, and yet it still tunes up nicely and works beautifully. And it's been set up to work with modern batteries, so should not have any problems there. So I'm very grateful to Bob Piker for being a good friend, a good mentor when it comes to Accutron watches. He has great knowledge, and when he does repairs and restorations on these things, he turns them around in a timely fashion. So he's a good guy to work with. He keeps you updated. He responds to his emails fairly quickly. So he's just a good guy to work with, and a straight shooter, honest guy. And when I find somebody like that, I keep patronizing him. And like I said, this is the third watch I bought from him. I bought an Astronaut GMT from him, and I bought a 14 karat white gold Space View from him, both fairly hard to find watches that he had, and were in great shape. Bought them from him and had no problems since purchase. So I'm very happy to be one of his customers, and very happy to talk evangelically about him and about the Accutron watch. It's a fantastic watch. They wear well. They work beautifully. They're just elegant pieces from a different era. And if you want to have a serious watch collection, I really think you should have one of these in your collection, either a railroad, an Astronaut, a Space View, just any kind of Accutron with the tuning fork movement, whether it's a 214, a 218, or a 2181 movement. Don't hesitate to pull the trigger on one of these things, because they will serve you well, both as a collectible and as a functioning watch. I just cannot look at this watch long enough. So I'm going to wrap it up and get ready for the weekend, get ready for some football. So thanks for stopping by. If you like the video, I appreciate a thumbs up. Comments, questions down below. Don't forget, I'll put Bob's website and email in the description, so you have that. And consider subscribing. And if you do, click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you are alerted whenever I upload new videos. So everyone have a good rest of the day, and I will see you in my next video.